The business case was approved. The risk register was current. 6 months later, the program was in trouble. Every risk that caused the problem had been identified. None of it had informed a single decision. The business case was approved on a Tuesday morning. The risk appendix was attached. The risk register was current. 6 months later, the program was in serious difficulty, and every risk that caused the problem had been visible the whole time. Not one of them had been used to make a decision. This is the gap that causes the most damage in risk management. The information exists, the register is maintained, the reports go out. But at the moment a decision is being made, the risk information is not in the room in a form that anyone can act on. The process has done its job and produced nothing useful. 3 projects, 3 moments where risk information existed and decisions did not follow. On Meridian, the register showed the problem for 2 months before anyone acted. On Vantage, the sponsor signed a document containing the risks that would later derail the program without reading a line of it. And on Atlas, a monthly report went to the board without anyone knowing what they were supposed to do with it. Here is the connection that is most often missing. Risk management is not a reporting exercise. It is a decision support discipline. PRINCE2 Risk Management names this directly as a principle. Risk information must inform decision-making, not inform the register, not inform the report, inform the actual decisions that determine whether objectives are achieved. 3 reasons risk information consistently fails to reach decisions. The format is built for compliance rather than action. The specific decision the report is supposed to support is never named, and the options the decision-maker needs to act are missing from the page. All 3 produce the same result, a decision-maker who receives information and does nothing with it. The principle is precise about what is required. It is not enough for risk information to exist. It must be reliable enough to trust, specific enough to act on, and present at the moment the decision is being made rather than 3 weeks before it or 2 weeks after. This is the timing problem that most risk processes do not solve. The report cycle and the decision cycle are running independently. Information is current when it is written. By the time it reaches the governance meeting, the context has changed, the urgency has shifted, and the window to respond proportionately may already be closing. 3 things every decision needs from the risk process: a clear view of what objective is at stake and how much exposure exists, a set of real options with the cost and residual risk of each, and the contingency position so the decision-maker knows whether the reserve available matches the exposure they are being asked to accept. The context problem is one of the most consistent failures in program risk management. The report is produced on schedule, the data is correct, but nobody who wrote it knew which specific decision it needed to support. So the format, the detail, and the timing are all calibrated for the wrong audience at the wrong moment. 3 decisions, 3 completely different information needs. The investment decision needs aggregate exposure. The delivery decision needs current leading indicators. The escalation decision needs calibrated thresholds. A single risk report format cannot serve all 3. The principle asks you to design the information to fit the decision, not to produce the same report for every audience. On Project Vantage, the approval meeting lasted 40 minutes. The business case was thorough. The risk appendix contained 11 identified risks with assessments, owners, and response plans. The sponsor signed without asking about a single one of them. 6 months later, 3 of those 11 risks had become issues that required executive intervention to resolve. This is what uninformed approval looks like. The document is correct, The signature is genuine, but the decision maker did not engage with the risk information because it was not presented in a way that connected to the decision they were making. A risk appendix at the back of a business case is not decision-ready information. It is storage. 3 changes that move risk information from reporting to decision support. Name the decision the report is designed to inform. Lead with the combined picture before the detail, and replace problem statements with option sets that give the decision makers something to choose between rather than something to worry about. On Project Meridian, the data migration risk was identified in week 3 of the project. It sat on the register for 8 weeks. The response that was available in week 2 cost £40,000. The crisis resolution that was required 3 days before go-live cost over £160,000. The risk information was accurate. The decision never happened. 3 costs that follow every uninformed decision. Response that comes too late and costs more than it needed to. Contingency that was set without understanding the exposure it was supposed to cover. And a window for proportionate action that closed while the report was sitting in an inbox. None of these are recoverable. All of them start with risk information that existed but never reached a decision. Here is the reframe this principle offers. The measure of a risk process is not whether the register is complete or the reports go out on time. It is whether the decisions made by the people who received the information were better because of it. If the answer is no, the process is producing records, not results. The test is simple enough to apply before your next report goes out. Which decision will this change? And does it contain everything the decision maker needs to make that choice? If you cannot answer both questions, the report is not decision ready. Send it anyway, and you will get the same result you always get. Information received, nothing changed. 3 actions before your next governance cycle. Add the decision statement to your next report and see whether you can complete it. Check that your top 3 risk owners have options to act on, not just scores to report. And lead your next board session with the combined picture. Each of those 3 changes something. Together, they change the whole conversation. Whether you are on a live project or working towards your PRINCE2 Risk Management qualification, the principle of informing decision-making is the test that matters most. A risk process that produces good reports but no better decisions has not achieved its purpose. One that changes how decisions are made has. 3 ways to take this further. Tell us in the comments whether your risk process has changed a decision recently and what made the difference. If you want structured learning across all 8 principles, the Mimir Learning PRINCE2 Risk Management course is built for practitioners who need more than exam preparation. And this week, add the decision statement. 1 line. It changes everything that follows it. Share your experience.